man.
A history-making moment in New York City. Just hours ago, a former U.S. president found guilty of 34 criminal charges. Donald Trump, now a convicted felon. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We have KREM 2 team coverage tonight as our country is in uncharted territory now. It was a staggering moment at 2:07 our time. The Manhattan jury handed down that resounding guilty verdict on every single charge in former President Trump's so-called hush money criminal trial. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Reaction to the verdict is flooding in at this moment. KREM 2's Nathan Young is tracking that for us tonight. But we want to get right to Mark Hanrahan for a breakdown of the verdict and now what happens next.
Whitney, this is obviously a huge deal. Donald Trump, now the first former president in U.S. history to be convicted of felony crimes. As you mentioned, a jury found him guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. The jury found that Trump did so to cover up a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. For his part, Trump denied having sex with Daniels and pleaded not guilty. But again, a jury found Trump guilty on all counts. Shortly after the verdict was read, the former president came out and addressed the media. Take a listen.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble, but this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Now, to be clear, this was not a federal case being handled by the Justice Department. This was a local case in Manhattan. A grand jury initially found probable cause to charge Trump, and today a jury of his peers found former President Trump guilty on all 34 counts against him. So what happens now? Well, a few things. If Trump does win the 2024 election, he cannot pardon himself, as this is not a federal case. Second, the sentence. What will the judge impose? Each of the 34 felony counts carry up to a $5,000 fine and a 4-year prison sentence. But whether Trump will go to prison is another question, and again, that is up to the judge. Legal experts point out that judges often take a defendant's conduct during the trial into account, so Trump's repeated violation of the gag order in this case may be a significant factor in sentencing. By the way, that sentencing hearing is set for July 11th. And Whitney, that is just 4 days before the start of the Republican National Convention. And finally, does being a convicted felon bar Trump from running or becoming president? Well, the answer is no. There is nothing in the Constitution that keeps Trump from doing so. In the studio, I'm Mark Hanrahan, KREM 2 News.
Mark, thank you very much. And President Biden will not speak on today's verdict, though his campaign did release a statement this afternoon. It reads, "In New York today, we saw that no one is above the law. Donald Trump has always mistakenly believed he would never face consequences for breaking the law for his own personal gain. But today's verdict does not change the fact that the American people face a simple reality. There is still only one way to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office," they said, and that is at the ballot box. Convicted felon or not, Trump will be the Republican nominee for president. The statement continues, saying the threat Trump poses to our democracy has never been greater. He is running an increasingly unhinged campaign of revenge and retribution, pledging to be a dictator on day one and calling for our Constitution to be terminated so he can regain and keep power. A second Trump term means chaos, ripping away Americans' freedoms, and political violence. And the American people, they said, will reject it this November. Now, as you would expect, reactions to today's landmark decision are pouring in. We are also hearing from our local elected leaders. For that, we want to turn to KREM 2's Nathan Hyun in the newsroom. He has been monitoring those reactions. He's joining us now with that part of this story. Nathan?
Well, Whitney, reactions are pouring in from both Republican and Democratic leaders in the area to Trump's guilty verdict. I had a chance to pull some of them. Take a look. Tiffany Smiley, who is running for the U.S. House of Representatives, wrote in a statement, quote, "This weaponization of our judicial system sets a terrible precedent, and the American people have been clear that this trial is not going to change their support for Trump. Going forward, I'll continue to support Donald Trump's campaign and look forward to voting for him in November." We also have heard from the governor of Idaho, Brad Little, who said, quote, "The American people will deliver the only verdict that matters in November. Hashtag Trump 2024. And Bob Ferguson, who is the Washington State Attorney General and running for governor, wrote, quote, "Laws matter in this country. Dave Reichert's candidate for president just got convicted of 34 felonies. I'm running for governor to uphold the law. America must not elect a convicted felon for president." And we will continue to track reactions from leaders in the Inland Northwest and state of Washington and Idaho and bring those to you tonight at 5 and 6. In the newsroom, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
Nathan, thank you. And we are going to be continuing our coverage of this historic verdict throughout this evening.